Hello, this is Tomas Matuszczak in Dwan's Comp 401 with the short and long on composite objects. Alright, so let's talk about the difference between atomic and composite objects. So far we've been looking at atomic objects, and they're made out of primitive values, either ints or strings, predefined objects in Java. So that's what an atomic class, atomic object is. However, composite objects are comprised of other programmer-defined objects. So let me give an example here. This is an atomic type of ball class. It has a private int x, private int y, and it has a string defining the color of the ball. Now, if we wanted a ball class that is a composite, we would have to have another class in there. So we see this ball class here. It has private location lock, and that location right there, that's a class defined by the programmer somewhere else in the program, and we are now using that as a parameter of the ball class. Now you can see here the composite type ball class still has a primitive variable in there. It has private string color, and it can have an integer, and it can have primitive type variables as long as it has at least one other class in there, another type that's not a primitive, then that is a composite object. And here's how we visualize it. We start off, as you see, with ball. We call that the root. And the lines connecting various pieces of this diagram together are called edges. If you look at location right there, location is in between its primitive variables and ball. So we call that a node. That is an internal node. And the things on the outside are called the leaves. Those are the leaves. That's the terminology for this kind of visualization. If we think about this as like an ancestry tree, we can say that ball is the parent of location, and location is the child of ball. And we can say that ball is the ancestor of the primitive variables int x, int y, which are called the descendants. Object Editor and the debugger also give this kind of view. It's a little bit different, but same general concept. You can see who is the parent of what, who's the ancestor of what. Now, if you want to make a new kind of shape that Object Editor doesn't recognize, and Object Editor isn't pre-coded with, then you can make one out of the shapes that Object Editor does recognize, and you can make a composite shape. So you can make a stick figure out of the line shape that Object Editor recognizes. Now, creating a composite anything requires modularity, so this really does promote the modularity of code and the reusability and the ease of use of that code.